What's up, everybody? So it's Sunday. I just pulled up to the Old Byrd Farm for our Sunday planning meeting.
Bird feeding day.
Bird feeding day and planning day. Trying to get them bluebirds in here.
Oh, I got them. Let me see if I can pull up this picture. Blue, come over here.
So we found something we can do. We can put up a bluebird house.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. There we go. So this showed up on one of my security cameras.
Oh wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Big old orange chest there. Bluebirds are here.
Yes, they are. It's that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a pen and paper. I got a little of that Hershey's Yingling Porter, and that stuff is so good.
Sweet.
So sat down, do a little planning, and go back here and see just how bad the road is now after the torrential downpour we had the other night.
Yeah.
Remember, we had I went on the weather service site and we had 6 inches of rain from 8 p.m. till 3 a.m. in 6 hours.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
Daffodils are looking mighty good though.
Oh, they are happy as can be. Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, it doesn't look, I was afraid I was going to roll up here and like, it's just going to be gone. Like the driveway, the house, the ambulance, you know, everything just completely washed away, but.
There's the start of a nest.
Is there? Awesome. Not to be able to see it. Oh yeah.
Strong.
Oh yeah, you can see, okay, you can't see where the light's coming up. Well, good deal. We're gonna have some bluebirds.
All that erosion.
Yeah,
All that erosion that happened.
yeah, this was all a couple days ago. I mean, none of these big ruts were here. And you can see all these, most of these sticks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
All of this stuff came from up there. Like it washed it all down.
Oh, it was a great flood. For sure.
But we're going to be able to, get this, or we've got to get this road where the roofers can get some stuff in this way.
Yep.
And we can get the dump truck in here. We got to get the yard cleaned. The other day before the torrential downpours, whoa, red clay slick. Watch that, I beat you to it. Before the torrential downpours, we were able to get a lot of this cleaned out, and looks a ton better.
Yes, it does.
So now we can keep cleaning up. Hopefully supposed to have good weather this week, and get these big boys hooked up to blocks and tackles and cut them away from the house so that the roofers can get around the house. Plus we don't have to worry about these trees taking out the new roof, because that would suck.
Right, and I've got a guy who's going to cut on the pecan tree too. He'll do it after the roof, but he'll be able to lay it off down.
Right.
Won't hit the roof with it. So we'll need to take out that tree.
Yeah.
Get those down. And then what I'm thinking too is we'll gravel up this road.
Yeah.
And then turn it here. Bring gravel in here. And in the future, gravel this area in too, and use it as parking behind the.
Yeah, especially once we get you know, part of these old porches, the old, you know, just cheap additions torn down. You'll have a nice big spot here.
Yep.
Pull right up to the kitchen door.
That's it.
Yeah, look right here. For instance, how much rain we got, how much it washed.
Yeah.
That medicine cabinet was up here, and none of that stuff right there, none of that was there next to it at all. Now that's pretty funny. Look at that.
Well, that's how much water was out here.
No, look, it's upside down though.
Yeah, I know, but you see how much water's in it?
Yeah.
That probably was the water line.
Yeah, so that it was that high, and then
and then it just
suctioned. Well, that's a very interesting water gauge.
Yeah, it is.
So you saw that was about 4 or 5 inches, and that was before it created a seal when it started to sink. Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
This area is not as mucky as I thought it was going to be.
So we tried to drive the tractor back here, and the tractor disappears.
Oh, I think I solved the mystery of what's going on here.
What is that?
So, the lady that lived in this house in the 40s told me that there was a flower pit behind the house, right out here. Now, if you don't know what a flower pit is where you would dig down a hole in the ground and you would put your flowers. During the wintertime, you'd put your flowers in it to keep them alive, and during the summertime, you'd put your fruits or your vegetables in there to keep them cool. So every house in this town had one behind it at some time. They also doubled as a tornado shelter.
So it's a storm cellar, or a root cellar, kind of.
Basically, yeah.
We called them root cellars up in North Carolina.
Yes.
That'd be it, and then it got filled in. And
then it got filled in, because I remember when she was walking around out here with me, she asked me if the flower pit was still there. And I said, no, I haven't seen anything like it.
And you got to see on an upcoming video, watch your step, while we were talking about,
I'm going down.
We were just driving back and forth, and all of a sudden I was making fun of Robert because the Kubota whole front end started disappearing. And I'm like, oh, you just got it stuck. So I put, 3 or 4 cinder blocks in there.
Yeah.
Drove over them. The first time I drove over them, the cinder blocks just disappeared, completely gone. And we must have what, 20 cinder blocks, a bunch of rocks, hard bags of concrete. I mean, it would have been a pile like as high as our head, but it all just sunk into the ground.
Yep. So I told Dan, the historian Dan Aiken, about it when he and I were talking or riding around one day after this happened. And before I said it, he said, "That sounds like an old flower pit." I already figured it out.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was, but he was like, that's what it sounds like. So that's it.
I've never heard it called a flower pit. We always called it a root cellar.
Yeah. It's I don't think it's as big as a typical root cellar would be. The ones that I've seen that have been intact were almost grave sized.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Funny story, up in Western North Carolina, there's actually a moratorium. You can't dig them in certain counties anymore, like my county, because it's got a high level of radon gas into the ground. And so it did a great job of preserving all the fruits and vegetables. It displaced the oxygen. So people would go down into their root cellar and pass out and ended up dying of asphyxiation because there wasn't any air left.
Down there, yeah.
Oh my goodness, so much water.
Mucky area right now.
Hopefully with a week or so of good weather, by the time those roofers come, we're going to be able to.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be able to they can go up over the top, but it'll be interesting. And that was one day's work filling up this dump truck.
Yep.
We still got to finish on the other side, but
still more to go.
A lot more to go. So before we get started on our Yingling Porter and our planning, I'm going to give Robert some chainsaw envy. Hey Robert, mine's bigger than yours. 28. It's getting a 20 on it soon though, just for not hitting the dirt purposes. sneeze. Yeah, I already just dulled the blade a little bit when I got into that dirt right there. Oh well.
That's impressive.
It'll make quick work of some of this stuff.
Yeah, it will.
Made quick work of my bank account.
I bet.
I bet they make one.
They probably do. Do we want to pay for it though?
Probably not.
No, not at all.
Probably not.
All right, guys. So this is something me and Robert try and do every week. Sometimes we don't get around to it, have time for it, but we always do. We get a lot more accomplished with a little bit of planning.
Yeah.
So we got all our notes in here from the past couple months, where we go over what we need to get done, and then our plan, and then our changes to the plan,
Right.
and then going back to next week, and wow, well, we got one thing on the plan done, but get a little sidetracked sometimes. And now that, especially today, this might take a minute because all you guys were so great. With the GoFundMe page, we've been able to move the timeline for the roof up a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I know Robert's already been, you've been following back up with Yoder, right? You're still waiting on an actual date?
Yep, I'm waiting on an actual date. They're supposed to send me a proposal to sign because we came out here and did a verbal walk around. So he's supposed to send me a proposal that I sign and send back to him. And then we set a date, so I've talked to him on the phone twice. I'm just waiting on him to send me the proposal to actually get some documentation. And I told him I'm ready. I said, let's do it. You know? I'm ready.
So we've done some of the stuff we had for the upcoming weeks now kind of got rearranged for really getting this roof ready to go.
Yeah.
And now it's getting a little bit later too. Some of the stuff I was planning on doing, I realized how late it was. So as far as sawing the wood, getting the sawmill out of here, plus now I know there's a little bit of wood we need to cut for the roof here, just in case, some purlins, and have some stuff on hand. So we are going to get into
Planning.
our book, and
Right. Have to go through. So for the wood for the roof, I'd say some 1x3s are the size of the purlins that are on the roof already.
that's why they've got up there.
Yeah. It's like 1x2.5 or something.
Okay.
It's 1x3.
Well, those are easy too, because as we cut the siding and all the stuff for my house, I've got to have board and battens anyway.
Yeah.
And the 1x's are easy because until you get down to where it's square enough to start cutting bigger,
Right.
it gives you a use for that small wood.
For sure.
I'd say, he said when you guys were up in the attic, it looked, and then he said it looked pretty good. And
Yeah,
he said there was a lot of them.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's also why I think 1x3s, because if we can use those for something else too, you know, at the end of the day, that's something that's not.
I bet
roof
1x2s would probably be enough, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Because because I don't want to go full 1 inch on my battens. That's too thick. But yeah, 1x3 purlins times, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 just in case.
That side would be the worst. Where the tin is lifted up and the roof cap is off, that side would probably be the worst. Now, when I was up there, all the purlins looked good. But you know, I'm expecting a few, but we definitely need enough purlins to cover over the chimneys. And that's why I think that the wider ones, the 1x3s, is probably best.
We can go with 100 because some of the smaller stuff that I was going to not even try and mill.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to mill anything worth it. I can still get the 1x3s out of it. This stuff's like 8 inches around.
Yeah. So there, and we've already got some 2x4s. I don't really see us needing, because those are going to be rough cut 2x4s in the attic anyway, to match in with if there is any 2x4s that need to be, or if there are any 2x4s that need to be scabbed.
2x4s won't be a problem because I've still got 3 big poplar logs.
Yeah.
And I've been cutting all those into 2x6, 2x4, and 4x4s.
Right.
And I've still got 3 more to go.
Yeah, so I think we're good on that. So that's for the wood that I would need for the roof. Purlins and 2x4s.
All right. And then for me, all it is just, I just got to cut the siding. I just got to finish the poplar, and then once I get into the siding, it's all going to be the same size stuff. And then I need to get, also before I take sawmill down, I got to get that big pecan down.
Yep.
and get that pecan milled up. So, but that's all easy to cut, but that doesn't need to be done for me. So, and then here we've got to finish, we got to take down the trees by the porch.
Yep, take down trees by the porch. And I'd like to move that 10 over so we can
Sort.
get the dump truck.
Sort, yeah, and plus it needs to be done before they come in anyway, sort and stack.
Yeah.
That way they, as soon the day they get here, or even, I'm sure they'll probably come out and look at it again,
Right.
sort and stack the 10. I know you had one person ordered it for you, but he can do his own math, and in case he needs to order anything,
Yeah.
any extra 10,
Right.
he's like, oh, well, we need a few more longer pieces or something.
Yeah.
Yes, plus that's the only place right now until it drives for a week or months that dump truck's going to go to be close enough to clean that up is going to be that driveway.
If we want that path going beside the house, and I can't use it right now.
And we need to finish cleaning up the front yard a little bit too, just so the guys can walk around.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, what I would like the end of this month is this front yard to be ready, because it's not right now. It's got a bunch of just junk stuff in it, not just stuff we've been using. So kind of make it where everything makes sense in here. Get that old fence out of here, trim up on more of these privets, and move that. That way the front yard and the front of the house looks really good. It'll look beautiful. It's going to be beautiful with the new roof, and start making this place look like home.
Exactly. And as soon as I get, I didn't think about it too, I've got a lot of that scrap, and a lot of scraps 3x3-ish, with the round part.
Yeah.
A lot of that I'll just cut into like 36-inch links. So when they start taking that 10 down, we can automatically just start laying those down. Instead of ending up with a big huge pile like we did before we can't lift.
Yeah.
We can just stack it up. Okay, Kubota will pick that up, and then we can still stack it up, but that way we've got slots in there to get the forks, so we can save. I think a lot of this 10 is still really good for a project, so we can still reuse that, but that gives us something to do with all that scrap 10 too.
Yeah.
Now you weren't going to try and, I guess there's no way we're going to get those porches down before they come in the roof. But that's okay. They've got plenty of room for scaffolding and stuff.
Yeah.
Perlin's cutting all the wood, and then
and as far as just like, I want to take down this tree here, but this is all in the big
the front yard.
Jump the tree down, and some more stuff over there. That'll be easy.
Yeah, and see, all that stuff will just be burned.
Yeah.
And you haven't been there, so you guys have seen it. He's been busy doing some stuff for a sidestep, running around. We haven't seen each other much the past few days. You haven't seen my new toy, so when we decide to burn that stuff, don't worry, I've got something that's going to make really fast work of starting the brush fires to get all that taken care of.
Good deal.
It's going to be fun. And see, I know he doesn't watch my videos, because otherwise he'd be like, oh, I saw the video you put up yesterday on that. Yeah.
Busted again. Well, I told you the weekends, I'm barely even on any kind of social media on the weekends.
Most of the time, he's wherever he's at, he doesn't even have service.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go around the same places, like either scouting beforehand or he'll take me later. And he'll just, no service, just put the phones up, because you're not getting a hold of anybody.
Yeah. There's a thing that I saw on TikTok where you're supposed to make a fist to your dog, and the dog's reaction, determined. Yeah, it's like, here, Blue, look over here, Blue. Look, make a fist to Blue, and he just bites he's just ignoring me now.
Well, see, that's why, because the way I've seen that too, but that's one of the training methods I use, because like, watch him, I'm scratching him. Blue, sit. See, that's why most of the dogs I train react really well to that, so I don't understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
Another thing to do over at my place, for your place, for when we especially about taking this down so we can clean it up, is we need to fix that bush hog.
Yes, fix the bush hog.
Which isn't anything but just a little bit of grinding, welding, and adding some metal. So that will make a big difference, especially because like one of the plans that we were doing was cutting that big oak tree back there, but that's going to have to get pushed back now. But having that bush hog will be kind of make life a lot easier to get back to that big oak tree.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, one of my shepherd hooks broke.
I see that.
So
Yeah, we can
might need a little tack on there.
throw that down. I can do that up. They don't make those things last, that's for sure.
No, they don't.
Especially when you hit them with tractors and bush hogs and all that stuff like we do anyway.
For sure. Well, I was just trying to put it into the ground, and you know how soft the soil is out here, and the weld just came apart. It was, it'd seen better days. But Cole, I think we've got a basic plan.
I think we've got
Enough to keep us
a
busy
month and a
for-
half's worth of work crammed into the next, 8-10 days.
That sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we still got a little bit of stuff to do around here. I've got plenty to do back at the house.
And I'll be late tomorrow. I've got to go meet with county officials in the morning, and then in the evening I've got to go to the city council meeting.
Making of a politician right here. He's going to be running for governor of Georgia here in the next few years. I'm telling you. You watch. It's going to happen. That or the mayor of Waverly Hall.
Right, there you go. One or two.
Which like some people that live in a bigger city might be like, oh, running for mayor, that's awesome. Well, down small towns in Georgia, the mayor literally is.
I think actually everybody's been mayor.
Everybody, it's the city council want to make the mayor's just the one that rides in the car in the parade.
Right.
Of four, like the first car in the 4-car parade and waves, like,
Right.
oh, there's the mayor.
There you go.
Yeah, like, so.
Yeah.
Hey, good job. Hi guys, so we're over at my place and we went over our planning meeting. So I thought I'd put some stuff in, let you guys get a frame of reference for what we were talking about at my place. So we've got to get the rest of this wood all cut for purlins, for siding for my house, as well as purlins over for Robert, any wood he might need. Got to get this big oak tree, or I'm sorry, this big pecan tree. This thing's got to be chopped up into smaller pieces, and then all the logs milled on the sawmill. I'm gonna finish getting this part of the yard all cleaned up, and I've got to start. It's getting warm enough now to where I can start moving all the roses. And we're gonna be making a new flower bed over here with our well house, and a new flower bed, because the roses can't be there when we start taking all that siding off, exposing the other logs, and putting the new siding back on while we don't leave exposed to the logs. So, like we were saying, we just made plans for the next week or two, kind of trying to shove really a couple. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure and like, subscribe, and share.